des choses à vous dire.
Oui, je sais. Caen est devenu un repère de traîtres. Combien de députés fédéralistes y sont réfugiés?
18. Voilà leur nom.
Oui. Ils seront bientôt morts.
Jacques-Louis David is often known for his neoclassicist paintings of ancient scenes such as the Oath of the Herati or the Death of Socrates. With his extremely polished style, he became the most famous artist in France during the 18th century. But David didn't only illustrate himself as an artist, but also as a revolutionary, as he actively participated in the 1789 French Revolution. In 1793, he'll even vote for the execution of Louis XVI. The same year, Jean-Paul Marat, a radical journalist who was working for the revolution, got assassinated in his bathtub. After contracting a skin disease in the Paris sewers while hiding from royalist forces, Marat had to take regular baths to relieve the pain. He was apparently covered in scabs and disfigured, but it didn't stop him from working for the revolution. From his bathtub, he'd read and write until one day, Charlotte Corday, who thought the revolution had gone too far, stabbed him. She didn't resist her arrest and would get guillotined 4 days after the murder. David, after learning about the death of Marat, went to the crime scene and drew sketches. He was going to make revolutionary propaganda. This is the painting he came up with, The Death of Marat. You see Jean-Paul Marat in his bathtub holding Charlotte Corday's letter on which you can read, "Given that I am unhappy, I have a right to your help." David is showing that Marat only offered his help to a woman who needed it. He is showing how innocent and vulnerable he was. This is the main idea of the painting, to elevate Marat to the status of martyr. You can only feel empathy for the man. The weapon that was used against him is still bloody and lies next to the bathtub. He's trapped in his tub that now transformed into his coffin. He still holds in his right hand a pen, showing that even after his death, he's still wielding his weapon of choice. An interesting thing is that David depicted Marat with smooth skin, while we know that Marat had an atrocious skin disease. David simply idealized the martyr to make it easier to empathize with him and to focus on the fact that he got murdered instead of making us focus on his odd appearances. The French Revolution was highly secular. They changed the calendar, so the painting, instead of being made in 1793 AD, was actually made in l'an 2, or year 2, meaning they traded the birth of Christ as a historical reference for the French Revolution. But there's still some semblance of religious imagery in this painting. There is, of course, a lot of negative space in the upper half of the painting with what looks like some kind of divine light aiming down at the body of Marat. The martyrdom of Marat can also be compared to the one Jesus went through. This painting has been referred to as the Revolution's Pietà, or we can also compare it to Caravaggio's The Entombment of Christ. Jacques-Louis David, by painting a Christ-like martyr, created an icon for the French Revolution. If this painting is important, it isn't only for its display of impressive technical abilities or for its position in art history, but also for its historical significance, as it marked an important point in the French Revolution. We'd like to thank our supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to become a patron, check us out on patreon.com/thecanvas.